It's truly a beautiful morning, a very good morning to all our beautiful members of India Business Group. And we are truly delighted to welcome you. Knowing the scenario, I know it's only prayers which will work wonders. At the same time, I feel it's very important for all of us to keep our minds occupied with some positivity, with some innovation and creativity. So I'm going to take this wondrous opportunity of welcoming you all with a global namaste and by the name of the Lord Hari Om. Thank you so much. Today, we are truly, truly delighted to have a supremely special guest, Mr. Amit Kumar. And the topic is very, very interesting. As we all know, that yes, it's always about, presenting to impress or having your presence. And how does it, help you be the best version of yourself? We're going to know each and everything from Mr. Amit Kumar. Towards the beginning, we are truly thankful to India Business Group for giving us this opportunity where they are coming at our doorstep wherever we are in the world. In case we're traveling, it's very simple for all of us to connect and, of course, help us grow in every endeavor. So I'm going to truly welcome the chairman of Nazara Technologies, Honorary Consul General of the Republic of Mali, our business guru, Mr. Vikash Mitra Sen. A wholehearty welcome to you, sir. Thank you so much for this wondrous session, Vikash. Good morning to you, sir.
Morning, Simran and Amit Kumar. I'm feeling a bit elated today to have Amit with us because this is where the entire world revolves. The startups, the investments. I have myself done investments in startups, and I think it's one of the best things happening in this country. And who better to talk about it than Amit? I won't say more. I think there is a lot more than I will be hosting the whole show. So let's move on. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Vikash. And of course, with the IPO creating records and creating history with Nazara Technologies, yes, who better than you also to speak so much on this? So thank you, Amit, at first for being here with us. But before that, the very dynamic lady, Miss Priya Pansare, who truly believes in helping all of us excel and, of course, really, really keeps us all connected. I'm going to truly welcome Priya and request you to speak a few words. We're meeting our beautiful members after a very long prayer for this wonderful session.
Thank you so much, Simran. Very good morning to all the IBG members and the associates who have come to our platform today. I'm going to start with a small presentation. Girish, can you do the needful?
Thank you. Ms. Priya, you're on mute.
Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay, so thank you guys. That's what IBG is. We are an 8-year-old chamber of commerce, and we do different activities. You must have already seen, from governmental to international chambers, domestic chambers, and so on and so forth. There are a lot of indoor members only activities also done very regularly with our members. And so we have now, this is the webinar second series, the launch that we launched last year. And today, this Amit is on our platform, and he's going to give us a lot of views in terms of startups, investments, presentations, and yeah, so thank you, Amit, for joining us today. I would also like to tell you that we have divided IBG's members into 11 different sectors, starting from manufacturing to retail to real estate legal, and so on and so forth. So the people who are new to our platform, I'm sure our IBG members can testify the kind of business they are getting, the kind of referrals they are generating through us. So to get a flavor of us, you should join IBG and see what we are doing. Thank you so much. Amit, I think Simran, over to you, and now you can introduce.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Priya. Trust me, taking a look at the audio visual, we were feeling nostalgic, taking a look at the international delegation. But let me tell you, my dear lovely members, though we can't travel international, they are all connecting us to everyone international here at your doorstep. So I think we are truly thankful to India Business Group Chamber of Commerce for truly doing this and traveling, allowing us to travel from within globally. So thank you, India Business Group. And of course, my dear lovely friends, truly, truly delighted to welcome Mr. Amit Kumar, a venture capital investment professional, CFO, and business scalability expert who focuses on startups and SMBs. Currently, spearheading investment at our ventures, advising companies on VC investments in the startup space. Mr. Amit has advised senior leaderships across MNCs and small businesses on improving operating margins and driving profitability. His expertise lies in the area of business strategy, risk management, audit systems and processes, and fundraising as well. As a founding member and CFO of a B2B e-commerce startup, he was involved in scaling up the business from a 4-member team to 300 employees and revenues of more than 50 million US dollars in a span of 18 months. But my dear lovely friends, Mr. Amit Kumar's expertise is hired by businesses that want to scale up, manage risk, reduce cost, and grow more than industry benchmark. Truly an honor for all of us to truly welcome Mr. Amit Kumar. Please join me, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Amit, for being here with us this morning. Girish, can we unmute, sir?
Yes, thank you so much. Girish was not being very nice to me. He was not allowing me to unmute myself. Girish, thank you so much for that. And Simran, thank you for the lovely presentation and also the introduction. Thank you so much. And a big thank you to IBG. A big thank you to Vikas ji. He's an amazing person. I keep on meeting him and I get inspired every single time I meet him. And Priya, good to see you back again. Well, I'm going to keep the topic pretty simple today. I think it's all about presentations. Now somebody also put a message which was very nice. They talked about the fact that if you can't own the room, own the Zoom. So I really like that catchphrase. But today we are going to be talking about presentations in general, because from the 1st of May, the vaccination is going to be open for everybody. All of you can go and get a vaccine done. And more important than that, after 3-4 months, businesses are going to open up and we are going to be again meeting each other, standing in front of each other, making presentations, doing a one-on-one conversations, etc. So today I'm not going to be donning my hat of a VC, as I would say, at our ventures, but I also run a small company called the Happiness Company. And I always believe that if you can speak well, you can impress people, you can get a lot of happiness around. And what makes you happy is what you should be doing all the time. And everything else follows. And we have seen this in the last 18 months or so. We have absolutely seen that. If you're with your family, logged in inside, you're having a little bit of fun, which all of us have had, you'll always feel good about that fact. So let us immediately start with presenting to impress. And as somebody has said, it is not important what you say, how you say makes the biggest difference. Right? And at least in startups, let me give you a mantra: storytelling helps, storytelling sells. If you are a founder looking to sell yourself, then you have to be a good presenter, a good communicator. You may be having a great idea, but if you're not able to communicate, you're not able to disseminate that idea with the investors, they're not going to like it. And it is out of sheer experience, I'm telling all of you, we get a lot of good founders, great ideas, great potential, everything great. But the problem is they're not able to impress the investors because they are not able to convey their great idea. And that is where it gets missed out. And the other way around is also there. The idea is not very good. It is a very simple thing that people are talking about, but the way they talk about the FOMO that is created, the fear of missing out, that if you don't invest in my company, you are going to lose out because there are others who are going to invest in my company. And that is what people look forward to. The confidence is most important. And I'm going to be talking about those aspects as well during the presentation. But now I'm going to be jumping straight into it. I hope I have screen sharing rights.
Yes.
Girish, you'll have
Yes,
to give me screen sharing rights, please.
Girish. Thank you.
Not yet.
Girish is stuck. So Girish, are we in? Just want to make sure that you're in.
Hey, Girish, can you see me?
Yeah.
Girish, I think his screen is frozen. He's going to come back. Yeah, he's going to come back. If this was a real life presentation, ऐसा कुछ होता ही नहीं. I would have just started, right? So technology is always a boon and a bane both. Girish is the host now. Okay. Girish is back. Girish, if you're back, can you please give me screen sharing rights? Yeah, allow me screen sharing, please. Well, in the meanwhile, yeah, okay, done. Thanks, Girish. Thanks a lot. I hope everyone can see my screen. Just a thumbs up from anybody will also do. Perfect. Thank you so much. So the Happiness Company presents effective presentation skills development, as I would say, and there is no going back on the fact that we all love presentations, right? And especially when you are sitting as an audience, the person who is making the presentation can sometimes fall into this trap as well. And this is one of the worst or the worst case of stage fright that I've ever seen. And there's a typical joke that goes around, because I was a part of Toastmasters International, which is the leading public speaking body across the globe. It's again, non-profit voluntary organization. It helps create leaders, and a leader has to be a good communicator. It is not necessarily the other way around, that a good communicator needs to be a good leader, right? And you can go back and hear all the amazing speeches of all the great leaders, and you will understand that they focus more on the communication part of it, the how part of it, rather than the what part of it. Barack Obama, our own Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, he is a great orator. He is a very fluent orator, and they don't look at any paper, etc. Although there may be teleprompters, technology may be there, but the confidence is there. So for me, presentation skills, public speaking skills is like swimming. I will give you 10 lessons, 20 lessons sitting just by the pool, but you will never be able to swim. So I have to throw you inside the pool. And that is what happens with public speaking. You need to make presentations, you need to deliver presentations, you need to stand in front of public. And that is what exactly it is. So there is a joke at Toastmasters which says that if you are standing for delivering a speech and somebody comes and says, okay, there is a gun, now I'm going to be pointing it here. Tell me, do you want to present or do you want me to pull the trigger? 99 on 100 people will say, pull the trigger. So it is considered to be the second most feared thing in the world. And trust me, it is not funny. I have seen people shivering, stammering, stuttering when they are doing presentations, right? And but that is not what it is so fearful all about. It is not so fearful. It is fun, but you have to make it fun. Now, if you think that I have seen this presentation after like 3-4 years, no, I have seen this presentation twice before I even came to present. This I've done a million times, the same presentation. But I just wanted to make sure that I have seen the right thing. Is it proper? Are the slides pretty fine? Is it going to be resonating with the audience today? So I just made it as generic as possible. So you need to keep doing that, keep revisiting your strengths and forgetting about your weaknesses. Revisit your strengths, keep forgetting about your weaknesses. That is something that you should definitely understand and keep in mind while you are doing presentations. So research, very, very important. I think we could see that there is maths, English, science, geography, art, but this is just a picture. You know why? I have kept this picture to just attract people, and which also brings me to the point that pictures, they paint 1,000 words. So your presentations should be about making them interesting, making them colorful. And I have people always coming and telling me, business presentation, how can we make it colorful? Why? Why can't business presentations be fun? Why are they supposed to be boring? Why are they only supposed to have bar graphs, charts, and things like that? No, we don't need that. So much of data. I'm going to show you what exactly happens in business presentations and how you should be doing business presentations. So a better way to do it, right? So 79% of the people will sign up for a business proposition if you stand up to do the presentation. Only 58% if you are less professional. The Wharton School. By the way, US does the maximum amount of crazy researches, and this is one of those. So it shows that if you're standing and presenting, it'll be much better. But that is obviously when I'm doing a face-to-face or an audience presentation. But when I'm sitting and doing it, does not really matter, because you're only able to see this part of mine. So I have to speak not with my entire body, but only with my face. I have to smile, I have to frown, and I have to use my vocal variety also in the entire presentation all the while. And always remember, when you are speaking, whether it's a 30-minute presentation, 40 or 7-minute presentation, and hold on to that 7 minutes, friends. I'm going to talk about those 7 minutes also. I have to keep the energy at one consistent pace. I cannot have my energy come down even a bit, because the time I do that, the audience is also going to come down on energy. And that is what happens. So holding on to your 7 minutes, any presentation you do, again, one research says that one thought holds on to audience only for 7 minutes. And that's the reason you need to keep changing some thought after 7 minutes. So 7 minutes, 7 minutes, 7, 7. Half an hour presentation should be divided ideally into 4 parts, 4 thoughts of 7 minutes each. And that's how audience is going to be glued to your presentation. 43% are more likely to be persuaded by using visual aids. Again, University of Minnesota. It's, US guys do all the research. So that is how they are trained. So moving on. How do you present to stand out? I love the Apple, and then the eye-catching visuals are something which I completely love. So let's have a look. The structure, the visuals, the words, and the practice. I will come to the practice part, and this is my favorite part in presentations. I give a lot of impetus to practice apart from structure, visuals, and words. So let's have a look at all 4 things. And last but not least, the practice. So how do you start the structure? How do you structure your presentation? The first thing that you typically do is to create effective beginnings. And then you have the transitions, and then you have the conclusions. So any presentation across the globe will have to have this structure. It has to have a rocking beginning, which I say the opening. Then you have transitions, and then you have conclusions. And there has to be obviously a common thread between the 3. You cannot just be speaking about any thought at any given point in time. It has to follow. There has to be a chronology, or there has to be a hook, as we say. So examples of techniques for exciting beginnings. Just like a lion anticipates the trajectory of its prey, we like to foresee our future actions or state. Right? Whether actions, sounds, words, and public loves anticipation. And this comes very, very amazingly with stand-up comedians. They just build something. They want you to anticipate something, and then there is a pause, and then there is a punch. So which means that they've built something in your mind. We call it vivid imagery. And when that vivid imagery is made in your mind, and that's the time when you just fall flat completely, when you see that what you were expecting and the other thing just comes out. So let's have a look. Anticipation, as they say, is like the 6th sense. Now, if you see hockey players, they don't skate towards the puck, and it is also applicable to football. They anticipate where the puck is going to skate, and they skate in that direction, right? So you should always create anticipation in your mind. Wow, today is Ashtami. I was fasting for the last 7 days, but now this is amazing for me. I'm going to eat all of this today. So now you're already starting to salivate even before I'm going to show this to you, give it to you, or you even take the first bite. So anticipation should be built in your presentations just like this. As we say, many activities, they take place in the mind first, and anybody who has read the book Secret also understands, if you want to build a beautiful house, you need to first build the house in the mind. Then it gets put on a piece of paper by the architects and the interior designers, and then the real house is made. Can you imagine that you are going to make a house and you just tell people, okay, just make my house. And when it is ready, you say, oh, I don't even like it because this is not how I anticipated this to be. Use words which are just for human beings. The words used like imagine, finally, or new to build anticipation. And that is how we say we create vivid imagery. Suppose I tell you to just close your eyes and just tell you, imagine you are in this beautiful garden full of trees, a very big garden. Immediately you will form a garden in your mind, which is going to be green, which has got a lot of trees, kids, birds, and that is what it needs to be. And you should but create a conflict between what the participants were expecting to see and hear and what really occurs. And this happens when you use humor in your presentations. You need to create incongruity, as it is said. So if the people were expecting that you're going to be starting with something serious because it's a business presentation, and the CEO or the director walks in and he starts with a joke just to calm people down, just to make people feel good and easy, that is what you should be doing. They were expecting that it's a sales review call today and you are going to be rammed completely because you have not met your target. But you should always start with humor, because that's how people are going to love you. People should respect you, people should love you rather than people fear you. And or if people fear you, they should only fear you because of sheer respect. And that is the kind of incongruity that you should begin your presentations with. We all love surprises, right? The greater the unexpected, the more imminent the viewer's attention is going to be. As I said that when I started this presentation, if people were expecting that I'm going to tell you and give you mantras about and give you long lines about how to make presentations, I'm going to show a PPT, I'm going to tell you, okay, new slide, and then add a slide here, how to add text boxes. No, I'm not going to talk all about that, because those are simple things. Those are simple things you can learn at your home also, but these are the ones which will help you the structure, etc. of a presentation. So let's talk about visuals. Now, as I said, business presentations can be extremely boring. And if you see, all visuals that I've put in this presentation are extremely high resolution visuals. Imagine if I had put resolution, which was low resolution pictures. Would you have liked the presentation? You would have said, he has come to teach us or talk about presentations. Look at his own presentation. It is so boring. And it is also, the visuals are not nice. But I've just ensured that the visuals are going to be nice. So as I say, complement your message with eye-catching visuals. You should like them and make it as colorful as possible. So now, suppose somebody comes and gives a presentation about what are the advantages of a rack server, a mini eDTAU, reduced rack space requirements, reduced power consumption, non-proprietary. I don't need to see this presentation at all. Or I don't need to see the facilitator at all. I can read. I'm a literate person. I know how to read English. So the more things you put, what happens? Imagine as the facilitator, as a presentation guy, what happens to you, the presenter? People miss out on the presenter. So one thing always remember, the PPT or presentation is only a facilitating aid. It is an instrument, okay? The focus has to be me, not the presentation. They should hear me, not look at the presentation and read. These all things can be given as notes. As I say, there exists technology and there also exists traditional technology. We used to take notes. Here also in PPT, they have given notes. Give handouts, give notes, but put more visuals so that you can talk and people can then understand and connect with you in a much better fashion. Now, cool weather approaching. If I do a presentation like this, in the northeast, colder than normal temperatures are expected. Snowfall for the entire region will depend on the fluctuations of the AO. The mid-Atlantic states have about equal chances of above normal. There is no need. You can read it again. But imagine if I put a slide like this, and then I talk about the cool weather, talk about some aspects, maybe put a few things here, which people will again resonate. As soon as people look at this, people know, oh, I'm going to be talking about the cool weather. Or I'm going to be talking about something maybe with respect to cars, that this car still is going to run if so much ice falls on it, whatever. Again, anticipation is built in the mind of the audience. And that is what I really want. And as I said, if you want to give 3-4 pointers about the weather, then all you can do is to just put those and give it to the people. They can just read. You can give them 4 or 5 note slides, etc. They can read on their own. How do we receive a DSL connection? How many people remember what a DSL connection is? We are now in fiber. We are now in 5G. I still am talking about a DSL connection. Yeah, of course, yes. Because I remember when you used to connect to the internet, it'll beep about 10 times before it connected to the internet. So we had a DSL. So how do you receive a DSL connection? Customer asks about DSL, service representative answers questions and contacts, DSL group checks. No, there is no need. I think there's a better way of putting it. So this is a better way of putting it. Customer asks about the DSL, service rep helps. So even in training, this is going to be helpful. You give this to somebody, he does not need to read anything. Does this look better or this looks better? I think we all know what the answer is. Phase 2 goals: spot opportunities for services, describe selling points against key competitors, describe vertical industry issues and applications, perform a need satisfaction demo. Haven't we all done this? Haven't we all put over how are we going to achieve our phase 2 goals? We have done this, right? But there's a better way of doing it. Do it better. So is this better or is this better? Just put visuals. And if you're telling me that, no, we don't know how to put these things in, we'll need to hire a designer, etc., etc. It all really depends how much time do you have. If you really need to learn and be creative, you'll have to make your own presentations. But obviously there are designers, all the small and medium business owners here, all the businessmen out here, all the startup people who are attending today's session. No problem at all. Either you do it on your own or you ask some designer to do it for you. But we have to get it done in this fashion. Internal presentations, there is no need to spend a lot of money. If your business is very huge and you have a very senior leadership team, then you should use internal designers. You can hire them. They'll keep on making presentations for you because you will need to keep on making presentations anyways. Money lost 2006, 2007. If you see, this is the money that is lost. We do this right all the time. You know, anybody from the audience can again say a thumbs up. Yes. Haven't we put such graphs and charts in our presentations? We have all done that. But there's a better way of doing it again. You know, you say that in 2006, US corporate lost about and the treasury lost about $126 billion and 96% was wasted. And then you want the graph to be seen by people. You want the data to be given to people. Give it as a handout. Right? Let them read. They can read it later as well. They are not supposed to look at all the data that you're giving at that very point in time. Well, we have seen how the structure of the presentation is supposed to be. Then we have seen how anticipation is supposed to be. Then we talked about visuals. And now let us not forget the fact that we all love speaking, at least people who love speaking. And we say that how Simran loves speaking. So she spoke, introduced very nicely. I always say no one really wants to hear some words like when document management services and technology are leveraged to their fullest, document operations and assets are optimized and document-driven businesses processes are streamlined and improved, security risks will be mitigated and productivity and savings will increase. No, stop bending big words. There is no need to show that your vocabulary is like Mr. Shashi Tharoor. There is no need at all. All you need to do is to use words which are for humans. Phrases such as unparalleled solutions, value-added paradigm shift are extremely calorie-free and they do not build a connection with the audience. People are not going to go and talk about the fact that, did you see Amit used amazing words? Aadhe to samajh mein nahi aaye. His English is so good. No, what about the content that I showed you, ladies and gentlemen? That is more important. Did I convey the message? Did you get what I wanted to tell you? No, fair enough. And which also brings me to an important point. Whenever you make a presentation, please make a presentation for the audience and not for yourself. Never ever do that. Do you think that anybody who delivers a speech is for himself because he likes the speech? No, it is for the audience. That's why you should always know who your audience is and what is their demography. So if you are making a presentation for children, aged between 7 to 14, 7 to 15, the presentation is going to be very different. The delivery style is going to be different. And if you're making a presentation to people, through middle-aged people, the presentation is going to be different. If you're making presentation to people who are older, it's going to be different. How different can that be? Well, in that case, even the font needs to be increased. Basic stuff. The font also needs to be increased in the presentation because if people are sitting, your senior citizens sitting in the audience, they will want to see, which is difficult for sometimes for them. Fonts which are larger, they also need to read sometimes. They need to see. So definitely, as I said, use words for humans and keep them as simple as possible, authentic, clear, fresh, and precise. Use simple words, lucid language, as they say. There is no need to show off, as I say, your grammatical skills. And finally, any presentation is not complete without practice. It is not possible, and you should never ever do that, because it just shows that you are taking things lightly. You are just about being overconfident. And more importantly, at least I believe in this aspect, that if you are giving due importance to the event will give you that importance. Right? If you practice for a specific thing, then only it comes back to you well. We all know who this gentleman is on the screen, right? He has got the maximum number of Grand Slams under his belt, right? He's Roger Federer and crazy amount of practice. So even if people are thinking that Sachin Tendulkar is one who has become so great by just playing matches, no, I think he's spent more time on the nets, in the nets, under the sun, rather just coming and smashing fours and sixes, right? So this kind of practice is fine. And yes, body language, very, very critical again. If you're not practicing, then you will never be getting this kind of body language, vocal variety, tonal quality, intonation, etc., etc. So these all things are very, very important all the time. For an effective delivery, control elements such as volume. Imagine that you are very excited and you're in a room and you think that जितना जोर से बोलूंगा ना उतनी एनर्जी ज्यादा दिखेगी, right? Is that true? Absolutely not. Now, even if I'm on a Zoom call and if I start shouting, do you really think that it'll show my energy? No, it is not necessary. Energy always has to be controlled energy. It has to be exhibited. It's not supposed to be thrown, right? So when I say thrown, which means that your volume or your voice also needs to be thrown. Depending upon the size of the room that you are in, and if you're not using a mic, you should know how much to throw your voice. If it is a small room, there is no need to shout too much. You can speak loud, softly, and yet 8 to 10 people will be able to hear that. But if it's a large room and you think that people at the back are not able to hear you, either use a microphone or you can throw your voice. It really depends. And you can always ask people at the back. It's a part of decorum. It's a part of etiquette, I would say, to ask people at the back, can people at the back hear me? And then people say, yeah, fine. Okay, good. So I can maintain the same volume. What is the pitch? The pitch is different than the volume. It is more to do with the singing, going high pitch and low pitch. This is all about creating emotions in your speech. And you need to control that as well. So don't think that people don't sing in presentations. Trust me, people do sing in presentations also. And it is very effective. So there are various ways of doing presentations. One way is boring. The other is interesting, and interesting can be anything. So there are no rules, regulations, etc. Third, the rate at which you speak, right? So as we see, some people speak very, very fast. And one beautiful example was our great cricketer, Mohammad Azharuddin. He used to speak so fast that we did not even understand what he's trying to say. And most of us miss that speech. And there are some people who are so slow with their rate that we'll have to actually wait. You know, that's pretty unfortunate. And although it is a joke, but yes, one of our former prime ministers also was very, very slow. You could actually take a nap or take a bio break and come back and you will still catch up with the speech, right? So the rate has to be such that people are able to absorb, which means that you cannot be too fast or you cannot be too slow in your speaking. But people should just gather what you're trying to say. And that is what I have learned, that if you have some thoughts which are faster, then you need to speak fast to catch them. If your thoughts are slower, then you have to decrease your speed of the rate to catch those thoughts. So the time the thoughts and the speech are not in sync, the problem starts. And that's exactly what you need to do. Your thoughts have to come before your speech, which means that you should know what you're speaking. Now, when I'm speaking today, I am not thinking at all because I'm in a zone, and I also call it my zone. I don't really care whether there are 30, 50, 100, 200, 500 people today watching me on Zoom, judging me by the fact did I have a haircut or what t-shirt I'm wearing. I don't care at that point in time, right? I have muted myself from both the sides. I'm just focusing on the presentation and doing a fabulous job, which I had visualized last night, that today's IBG presentation is going to be rocking, and it has to rock, as simple as that. And finally, the pauses. The pauses are most effectively used by stand-up comedians, as I say. Speak, pause, punch, and they make a big difference. I'll give you a small example and narrate a story. When I was very, very small, I woke up one morning and my father told me, let us go out hunting today. I said, okay, very, very good. Let us go out hunting. And I took all my bags, packed, went to his car, sat, we drove to the jungle. We just got down, had a few sandwiches, and then we went into the jungle deep inside. And then suddenly there was a lion. And my father said, oh God, I've forgotten my gun. Where is it? But you know what? He just picked up a stick, he shot at the lion, and the lion died. Oh, beautiful story. But it could have been narrated in a better fashion with vocal variety, right? One morning I woke up and my dad told me, hey, come on, let's go to the jungle. I said, wow, really? Are we going to do that? I said, yes. So I packed all my bags, all the sandwiches, got into the car, and we drove right inside the jungle. It was a dense jungle, but I was not worried. I got out of the car. I was hungry. I had a few sandwiches. And then we went deeper inside the jungle. As we were walking, suddenly I saw a huge lion in front of me. My father said, God, I haven't even got my gun. But then something magical happened. He picked up a stick, pointed at the lion, shot. And guess what happened? The lion died. See the difference between no vocal variety and vocal variety? That is what people like. So a speech can turn into a performance, and people love performances. And that is what you need to do. If you're 10 to 20 people, it's a speech. 20 to 50 people, it's just a demonstration of things. Above 50 people, it is a performance. It has to be theatrical. People love doing it. And when people love doing it, people love seeing it as well. Right? Okay. Notes. How important are notes? Well, all the time, as I said, if you're making any presentation with visuals, keep your notes ready, hand out materials to people. They will want to read some stuff. And well, as I'm presenting, there are a few people who may be taking notes also. More than happy to share this presentation. There is no IP which is there. This is how you should be practicing your long jumps. Very, very critical. And yes, this is the big day out. You arrive early. Make the room yours. Check the AVV equipment. In this case, check Zoom, talk to people, etc., etc. Set out the materials. Mentally rehearse the opening. What am I supposed to speak? What should I talk about? Breathe and move. Today also, when you speak, you need to breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. You cannot be tensed about what you're going to be doing. Visualize success. Be flexible. Smile and take your time. But do not do these things. Last but not the least, this is so confusing. It's awful. You are showing your weaknesses to people. I'm not a trained speaker, so please excuse me if I make mistakes. Did the audience know you're not a trained speaker? Right? I'll never get this perfect. My God, technology, see what happened. There are pretty scratches also on my screen. What did I do today to myself? I don't even know. I don't know who searched for the presentation before me. See the red marks on the presentation? Not happening at all. I could never get this perfect. I am extremely nervous today. So please excuse me if the presentation is not good. Does the audience know that you are nervous? Only two people know you are nervous, you and God. And both of them are not going to tell the audience unless and until you are going to show it to the audience that I am extremely nervous and the presentation is going to bomb. So ladies and gentlemen, how do you present to stand out? As I said, remember the 4 important things: structure, the visuals, the words, and yes, practice, practice, and practice all the time. That's the end of the presentation, ladies and gentlemen. Simran, over to you. I had a lot of fun.
Wow. And we had a lot of fun too, and so much of understanding, grasping, visualizing, and getting into the reality. Truly, truly amazing. Thank you so much, Amit Kumar. We've already received a couple of questions, but I'm going to truly tell all my beautiful members of IBG, if you have any questions, please do put it up on the chat box and feel free to ask whatever you can, because we are living in this beautiful visual world. And it's all about presenting yourself, no matter, irrespective of which arena of work you belong to, whether you're a student, you're a small kid, or you're a grown up or a senior citizen. So you have to rock with your presentation skills, and such a wonderful presentation. So Amit, towards the beginning, let me tell you, I truly enjoyed, the entire presentation by the Happiness Company. And I noted the fonts which are used in Happiness are very innocent and ignorant, as kids would write happiness.
Yeah.
So I think it's a beautiful way of making everyone realize we are in this world to be happy.
Yeah.
So, be happy, and everything you do, in your life should be happiness related. And I truly enjoyed even, where you build the house in the mind. Thank you, Dr. Renuka. But please feel free to ask your questions. I already have a few of them here. And I truly enjoyed that when you said that build a house in the mind, and the kind of visuals and the visionary, entire feel that you have the previous night. And the fact that you said that even you rehearsed for today's presentation was really shocking. And I'm sure none of us must have expected that you actually practice so much, because you're such a natural. At the same time, you're just making sure that you're giving it your 100%,
Yeah.
fair shot or giving. So I think this is absolutely brilliant. In fact, I do remember Mr. Vikash Mitra saying that you stay in your mind, and that is where you stay. So this was absolutely brilliant. My question to you is, we are all catering to global audiences. So be it, through the virtual world or the real world, how is it that we can impress everybody in that one presentation when you have people from different countries and different arenas of life?
Well, that's a great question, Simran, and thank you for the kind words. I really enjoyed the session today. There's no doubt about it. And yes, it's important to practice, and so did I. But yes, that's the reason. When I say that any presentation that needs to be made with these three things, the structure that we're talking about, the opening, body, and the conclusion, sometimes you need to see that who the audience are and from which countries, right? So that's very important to study as well. And that is the preparatory part of any presentation. If there are certain nitty-gritties that you need to take care of, a certain area, a certain geography, a certain race, or certain nationality, then you should be taking that sensitivities into account if you are ever making that kind of a presentation. So take that into consideration, and also see that, is it possible that there are people from different countries who probably do not understand English so much? So is there a possibility you can arrange for maybe technology which translates your presentation when you're presenting? And that's precisely the point. I want more visuals, because people can resonate with visuals, because visuals has no language, music has no language, as we all know. And so are the visuals having no language. Then you can talk and people can still understand. Notes can be given in different languages. Germans are not very comfortable with English. Even you go to Germany, they will want to send French again, not very comfortable with English. You will want to speak in French. So keep these small things in mind before you're presenting to a global audience. And I think with technology, we are blessed at this point in time that we have got all the tools in the world. When I speak, that will get translated live to any language across the world. Like Japanese also is the same, right? They're comfortable in Japanese. So these are a few things that you should definitely keep in mind when you're catering to a global audience.
Sure. Mr. Amit, Ghanshyam would like to know the importance of integrity in contents of presentations, and what is your thought?
Right. So integrity, two parts of integrity. One, the content, and the second is the delivery. Right. So both, there has to be a lot of integrity. When I say you're presenting anything, please understand now you have documented that. You have absolutely documented. If you're documenting something, it better be correct. It cannot be that you're putting something which is false, or you're claiming some material to be yours, which is not yours. Right. So very critical. Now, suppose you have taken a quote from somewhere, or taken some data from somewhere which talks about, so, okay, this data is from Bain and Company, or from BCG, or from a McKinsey study. You need to give those credits to people. You cannot say that I did this entire survey and that is what we have found. No, give the credits. In fact, in our corporate presentations, you see, when we put in the logos of various companies, we put a footnote there very clearly that the logos and trademarks, patents of each individual company are owned by them. It is, you just cannot put a logo of somebody because people may not like the fact that you're putting their logo, right? So it is better to do something like that. And when I'm talking about integrity in speaking or delivering, well, it just comes by the way you deliver. The sincerity definitely is shown when you're making a presentation. if you are trying to fake something, unless and until you are brilliant at faking, you are going to stammer, stutter, and you're going to take away your eyes from the audience or from the screen, howsoever you're presenting. So that's my take.
Thank you. Of course, we can have a solo presentation, but as far as it comes to a group and a panel discussion, Vishwajit would like to know, how do you create a mark and create an impact as far as panel discussion is concerned, so that, people remember you and you are truly the best amongst others?
Right. So the first always about the panel discussion, whenever we have done and we invited people to do panel discussions, you have to wait for your chance to speak. So if it is a moderated panel discussion, the moderator is always going to ask you, what are you going to speak about, right? And whenever you're going to a panel, and unless and until it's a surprise panel discussion, which may be with business schools during your interview and the panel discussion later, is different. But in the real world, whenever there is a panel discussion, there are two things. The topic is given to you beforehand, which means that you need to read about various things and then go on to the panel discussion. Second, most of the panel discussions, when they invite panelists, they're also given the questions. So you should be ready with answers. But most important, whenever there is, say, an elite panel sitting of 4-5 people and they are talking, pick up cues from your fellow panelists and then try and put your thoughts. And the only way to do that and impress people in a panel discussion is to use your face, your facial expressions, and your vocal variety. I think that makes a big difference. And obviously your energy comes along with it. Because if you're going to be boring panelist, people are just going to think that you're again talking stuff which is not important to them. They will not enjoy listening to you. So if you want people to enjoy listening to you, you should use vocal variety. You should use your face a lot. You should smile. And yes, do not forget, people don't forget ever people who crack jokes. So use humor. And that also comes with practice, right? So use humor in any presentation. It does not matter at all. People will always have a caveat or a corollary saying, how do I use humor in serious presentations? It can be used. It all really depends upon whether you want to use it at the beginning, something serious is happening to lighten things in the middle. And same is with panel discussions as well. Yeah.
When we say doing your homework, what does it mean? Does it also mean some voice exercises? Does it mean eating right a couple of hours before the presentation? What is your take on this?
Again, interesting. I think the vocal variety, just like any presentation, it comes with practice. You should try that. And I think kids are the best examples. They can take out any kind of noises and voices and they keep experimenting. So you should also experiment. There is no harm in that. And unfortunately, as Indians, we don't use body language and vocal variety a lot because we feel that there are a lot of inhibitions that are there. We feel that we are going to be judged. कितना स्टाइल मारता है, कितने स्टाइल में बात करता है, ये तो सब फॉरेनर जैसे बात करता है. ऐसा, there's nothing like that. Vocal variety is a part, and vocal variety you should learn from our Bollywood actors. I mean, they do a brilliant job with that. I mean, you can always do that. But yes, before the presentation, do drink some water. Now, you should not have a throat which is dry, which will be a problem for you. And if you think that you have a habit of having a dry throat, then you should keep a bottle of water right next to you, and you'll always wanting to drink water while you're presenting. And it also helps you relax, honestly speaking.
Right. Thank you. Amit, this question says, most presentations in business are sales presentation pitches. How do you take those on as they cater to a niche audience of only 2 or 3 people in a room?
Right. Interesting. Now, as I said, when I talk about doing presentations, it can be 2 to 3 people. And honestly, 2 to 3 people, I don't call it a presentation. I call it a discussion. When there are only 2-3 people, then it can be detailed. It can have slides which are bar graphs, charts, performances, sales of the past few months, sales of the next few months. These are presentations which are not really meant to be presentations. It's not like 8, 10, 15 people are sitting and going to be focusing. Up till 4 people, I think it is a discussion. It is not a presentation. So it is like people may ask that, okay, how do I speak on the phone? Speak on the phone is very different than honestly speaking one-on-one. And also speaking to a mass audience. So in this case, you can go a little technical and it may be a serious discussion, but during serious discussions also things can be made lighter. There is no harm in doing that. And when there are 3-4 people, take a little break in between as well. But in a presentation like this, when there are like 50 people, 100 people attending presentations, then taking a break is a problem. So for 3-4 people, I would still suggest go ahead, do your normal discussion as if you are in a meeting with 2 to 3 people.
Amit, I would truly like to know about your experience. This is what you said, before even coming to the presentation, you prepared yourself, you visualized yourself last night. What
Yeah.
if you had to suddenly give a presentation and maybe you're well acquainted with it? What do you think? Is it sometimes better to be, impromptu and it really works a miracle rather than, the planned visualization and the planned practice, which really works? What according to you has worked the best? And I'm sure you faced a lot of situations,
Oh, yes.
in your life.
Oh, yes. So as senior leaders, honestly speaking, we are called onto the stage at any given point in time whenever you are not prepared, right? But again, please remember, you should be ready for that. And when I say you should be ready, you are going on to an event and you should always anticipate that as per your designation, as per your stature, you may be called upon any time to speak. And that is what I call the preparatory part of it. So mentally, at least be ready. And what a lot of good speakers do, they read a lot. They read a lot, they take notes. Now, the good thing is we have technology. So we have our mobile phones. Whenever you feel that you have read something nice, take a snap of it, save it in your photos. And most of the leaders do impromptu speaking. You're absolutely correct. Right? So, and they go onto the stage, they completely rock it because they were anticipating that in advance as well. That I may be called upon because now I've reached a level. I'm not going to be saying, okay, let me now give you a presentation which is supposed to be prepared 3-4 days in advance. Well, if I'm presenting to the board, it's fine. I will still prepare, I will still practice. But impromptu speaking is another art. And as public speaking or prepared speeches, they also come with practice. The more forums you go to for impromptu speaking and with various topics, it can be amazing. Like if I give you a topic right now, Simran, okay, you are a mug of cafe coffee day, describe your day and just speak for the next 2 minutes. So now I've put you in a fix, but you've already started to think because I've already told you, you've started to prepare now. And if you do this 10 times, 15 times with various topics, then business topics are extremely easy to handle in impromptu speaking.
Oh, that's really wondrous. We have an interesting question which says, if you are participating in Arnab Goswami's panel discussion, then still how will you make a mark on it?
Oh, fantastic. I think Viswajit, beautiful, beautiful. I think you can make a mark on Arnab Goswami's show by just staying silent and nodding your head, agreeing to whatever Arnab is saying at that point in time. So honestly, that is all showmanship. It is nothing to do with panel, nothing at all. And to be a part of that show, if you're a politician, and obviously I'm not even going that path because that's not my forte, but they're very imposing. Politicians as such, any very imposing, they're very aggressive. And aggression can only kill aggression. So if that is the case, then you will have to be extremely aggressive and you have to be more aggressive than Mr. Arnab Goswami and tell him to just please keep quiet, give me a chance. Till if he's not giving his chance, giving a chance to us, sorry to say, it's his show. He can do whatever he wishes. Then at that point in time, just keep quiet, listen, relax. That's the only thing I would do at least. I wanted to be a little, what do you say, nasty here, but I don't want to be at this point in time. I would have probably just walked out, honestly speaking.
Sure. Thank you so much. And I think everyone has a smile all around. So thank you for this question, Vishwajit.
Yeah.
The next one says, in any official or corporate presentation, is there any ratio of adding pictures and data to make the presentation impactful or impressive?
Oh, in an official corporate presentation, is there any ratio of adding pictures and data to my presentation? Not really. I think it really depends. I would still say I would do a 70% visuals and a 30% data. And as I said, the rest, if it's still a data heavy presentation or a chart heavy presentation, I'll give it out as notes. I'll prefer doing that because it's more fun to do that.
Wonderful. Mr. Amit Kumar, our last question is, what is that one tip you like to give everyone, since everyone is at home for the next couple of days and weeks, to probably, prepare themselves to go out in the world and, of course, win hearts, capture hearts at the same time, do great business deals. So what is that one thing you'll ask them to practice, since we are all sitting at home and we have plenty of time for ourselves?
Super. I think two things, one do and one don't. The first don't first is never ever practice in front of the mirror. It's a terrible thing to do. And most of the people will say, no, you should practice in front of the mirror, etc., etc. No, you can only become a performer by practicing. So at home, when every family member is there, play drum charades. That'll give you a lot of confidence to become a better speaker. Pick out surprise topics. Take about 10 chits. 3-4 people can sit in the room. Pick up a chit. A topic will be there. Speak for the next 2 minutes on that particular topic. Like the one I gave you, Simran, is like that. Now, Priya, I can give you a topic. The sky is pink, and you need to speak for the next 2 minutes. Let the creative juices flow. And when you start playing with such topics, you will get extremely, extremely comfortable with even normal topics. Because if I'm giving you vague topics, I'm giving you topics which you've never heard before, it'll be much, much better. Like, let me give you a topic saying, okay, what are your views on cosmic energy? Now you suddenly say cosmic energy, suna to hai, magar cosmic energy kya hota hai, pata hi nahi. Then what do you do in such a case? You have to make it humorous. Even Priya can make it humorous. The sky is pink. How will she do that? Oh, it is 14th of January and it is Makar Sankranti. Everybody is flying kites. And I went on to the terrace and I saw, got so many, but I didn't even see one pink kite. So I just told my friends, let us all fly only pink kites. And the sky turned pink. And you can just, so this is called spinning a yarn, weaving a yarn all the time. You just need to create that attention and attraction with the audience for something like this. And you can create any kind of stories. Don't worry about cosmic energy. You can create any story. One fine, I was sleeping and then I had a dream. Shah Rukh Khan came in my dream and he said, let's discuss cosmic energy. And you can go all over the place. So you need to either inform the audience, you need to educate the audience, you need to entertain the audience. These are some things that you need to do. And you just need to pick that particular aspect of public speaking and then do it. At home, try doing it. You will for sure hone your public speaking skills and try out different things and take a feedback from your family members. Acha laga kya? Okay. Nahi laga? Okay. Next time do one thing. Now all these phones have got beautiful cameras. Record something and then look at yourself. If you think that you're not liking yourself, nobody is going to like you, trust me. So it is better that you record, you see, oh, nice. Yeah, I think I did a good job. So the audience is also going to like it. So these 2-3 things, if you do at home, will help you become a better public speaker. Simran, over to you.
Thank you so much. I'm truly thankful to Amit Kumar and the Happiness Company. And the fact is that I never like to see myself. So I'm so happy because I never like myself on screen. And I'm really glad to mention this to you that the fact that I never like to watch my shows. So I'm not going to talk or comment on that, but we're truly thankful to you and we truly look forward to having a live session here on behalf of India Business Group Chamber of Commerce. We also had a couple of them asking for your contact details, which Ms. Priya will do the needful. And I'm going to request Priya, because Priya has been smiling since the last few minutes and the wondrous answers. So Priya, over to you, sweetheart.
I'm going to take that up. The sky is pink. In this entire gloomy lockdown season, the only thing which is happy is the sky is pink. How about that?
Good one. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you so much, Amit. This was a bomb session. And I'm sure a lot of our IBG associates, IBG members have really, liked this session. And of course, I'm going to pass on your coordinates to them. And if you can send us also this presentation, then maybe we can, email the people who are interested.
I will do
So
that.
thanks a lot. And guys, so I'm going to see you this is only for the new, the people who are just as guests come to our platform. This is for them. So now we're going to see you next Tuesday. We're going to have with us Mr. Sushil Kumar Jiwarjka. He is the Honorary Consul of Greece in Bombay here, and he has a very large business into manufacturing, and he's going to speak about use of technology to bridge between urban and rural areas. So thank you guys, and I think I'm going to hand it over to Vikas sir for the closing remarks. Over to you, Vikas sir.
Thank you. Maybe please have Vikas sir.
I always dread this moment when Priya and Simran tell me, over to you. How can I replicate such a talk? I mean, completely free flow, no nervousness, whatever. Let me take you back in time a little bit. When I started public speaking, because of IBG, of course, I used to actually shiver, as you mentioned just now. And I didn't know what to do. I mean, I used to just rush through whatever I wanted to say. My thoughts would leave deep in front of me and come out all wrong. And then slowly I slowed down. I decided this is not the way to be talking. Either don't talk publicly or talk slow. And that's what I did. I'm moving away from what I thought this discussion is going to be on startups and technology and all that. This is a different cup of tea altogether. So then I decided that speak slow. Don't let your thoughts run ahead of what you want to say. And then step by step, I came to a balance which said, yes, I don't even decide in advance what I'm going to say. It's just a free flow. And after that, the audience loved me. Then I was able to say what I want them to hear rather than just what I wanted to say. So that difference happened. And then I think currently I have struck the right balance. This has been a wonderful session. Never expected this because I had not read before what you're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
My people told me, why don't you do your homework? I said, come on, you guys are the people who have to do the homework. I'm just the figurehead. And that's what I plan to stay. I would love to have lunch with you and Simran and my team once we are beyond all this, what we call
Absolutely, sir.
the times that we are going through. Thank you very much. Thank you, Simran. Thank you, Priya.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you, Mr. Vikas. Thank you, Priya. And I'm definitely going to mention this. This is exactly what I realized, Mr. Vikas, after taking a look at his profile. I said, of course, he's obviously going to talk about the share market, finance, investments, angel investments. And when I read the topic, I said, are they sure? So I was just about to call Siddhi and ask her, is this the topic? But I said, no, if it's mentioned, it has to be. And I'm truly, truly delighted because we learned so much from you, Mr. Amit Kumar. And as mentioned, we truly look forward to a live session as well, ASAP, whenever possible. But at the same time, you've given us our homework. So you've actually done a very big deal for all of us to truly climb up the ladder ASAP. And of course, before we see you, I'm sure everyone is going to excel with their public speaking skills, with their presentation skills. And we owe it all to you, Mr. Amit Kumar. So wishing each and every one of you a very happy Ashtami, a very happy Navratra, Ram Navami, and I want you all to celebrate life at this moment. I know we're having a lot of chaos around us. At the same time, let us be like that beautiful lotus flower and bloom. Amitji, I think you want to say something.
Yes, I just want to thank IBG and Vikas sir once again. I think Vikas ji ke saath, I just enjoy every time I meet him, whether it is at his office or any IBG event. It's truly an inspiration, and look forward to that lovely lunch with all you lovely people. Thank you so much, and have a fabulous day ahead of you.
We will make it happen. Simran, remember this.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Noted, sir, in my planner.
Yeah,
Miss
please
Priya
do
and
that.
I will remind you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you a lot.
Thank you.